What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MULN stock.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video, first of all, I will show you where we are on the price chart and how we get there. Then we'll continue with the fundamental news and I will show you why this asset doesn't worth your attention as a long-term holding and why we might see a massive squeeze for upcoming several sessions. And at the end of this video, I will share my thoughts and my technical analysis, and I will show you what should we expect next. So let's start with the price chart. I made my previous video just a couple of days ago, somewhere at this point, and I've told you that we might see the spike in its price right before the May 17th. And it is the crucial point for Mullen because it is the 10th consecutive day of the threshold of Nasdaq rule that any asset should be above $1 mark in order to be tradable on the stock market. And this is the deadline that should hold, otherwise Mullen will be delisted from the stock exchange, and that is why this point is crucial point. So, and let me show you some very important news. Just recently they filed the earnings report, and let me show you right here that basically the numbers are not so impressive. They have cash and cash equivalents of about $60.337 million, and it is the information at the end of March. Let me show you that they updated this number on April the 30th. They had $116.1 million. But in general, let me show you that the total assets is $402 million, with the total liabilities of roughly $140 million. And definitely the good sign is that they slightly decreased this number from 145.6 to $139 million. But the total assets are still not so impressive. Let me show you that from their assets you have to subtract the intangible assets of $112.7 million and the goodwill of $92.83 million. It is just a paper assets and you cannot do anything with this number. On top of that, restricted cash is also the money that you cannot use rather than to produce the vehicles. Basically it is the deposits for the potential customers for their upcoming vehicles. And as you can see, previously they had $30.289 million, and right now they have $26.409 million. So some people definitely took back their money, and it is not the best sign. On top of that, let me show you that they have a very huge expenses on stock-based compensation, more than $19.5 million for the first 3 months. And if you take a look right here, for 6 months ended March 31st, they had $60.3 million of stock-based compensation. On top of that, let me show you right here, their expenses, operating expenses, are $67.89 million. This means they cannot basically operate even for 3 months without going to bankruptcy. And this is really scary for the long-term holders. And that is why the only way how they can handle this issue is to continuously dilute existing shareholders. So let me show you some good news that might be quite interesting. On Investor Place, we can find this article that was published yesterday, and it says MULN Stock Alert: Mullen could short squeeze this week. And let me show you that it was published 1 day ago, and I've told you about this potential 2 days ago when I made my previous video. And I still stand on my position that in the short-term perspective we can see the spike in its price, but when this asset crosses this line, definitely we will have less possibilities to see this squeeze. And if it happens without any major movements to the upside, the probability of the next movement to the upside in the near-term perspective becomes less and less probable. So, and let's continue with the technical analysis, but before we dive deep right here, please subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell and hit the like button. This helps me a lot. So guys, we are about 15 minutes on pre-market hours, and this asset has a small little movement to the downside of negative 0.82%. And I have to say that if we take a look on a bigger picture, if we switch to daily time frame and zoom out a little bit, we can see that this asset is in consistent downtrend. Basically, they lost a lot of its value, and from the beginning of 2022, from this swing high, it lost about 98% of its value. And this is really scary. You cannot anticipate anything in the long-term perspective if the company loses its momentum and loses its value during the almost two consecutive years. And definitely, you might argue that as long as you haven't booked any profits, you are pretty much in neutral territory, but in general, you will not see any major spikes for the long period of time for this asset in foreseeable future. And there is a multiple red flags, and the problem with their so-called magic box that are still on the table. And a lot of people, even on the Mullen Reddit thread, are starting to make some statements that they have to disclose some information from their own side. But despite this, David Misery and Mullen Automotive keep silence, and they cannot basically argue on any of these type of statements. On top of that, the price of their vehicles are extremely high. For example, Mullen iGo costs about 17,000 euro. And it is about $20,000, but this vehicle is a completely empty, basically cargo van, the smallest cargo van on the market, and the similar vehicles cost much less than this one. For example, the original vehicle that you can buy in China costs less than $10,000. Next one, their Class 1 delivery cargo van costs $34,500, but the original van is more than 2 times lower than this price. And definitely, you cannot sell these vehicles on a US territory because they don't have an homologation, and that is why you can use it only on the restricted areas. And on top of that, I have to say that despite this news that UNC Charlotte places second fleet order for Mullen EV cargo vans for university campus use on May the 1st, and previously they had first deliveries on March 31st, we cannot see any revenues on their balance sheet, and this is quite suspicious, because if you sell some vehicles, you have to receive some money, and if you don't have it, probably you didn't sell the vehicles. This is my opinion. And let's continue with the stock price. If this asset will have a bounce, and if you are quite risk tolerant, let's switch again to 1 hour time frame, you can accumulate your position with anticipation that the bounce might happen, and the ranges of this bounce might be different. Definitely it might be some previous swing highs. And in general, I have to say that if you want to catch these risky trades, just use the amount of money that you are willing to lose. Otherwise, it will hurt you badly, because in general, this company, in my opinion, will file its bankruptcy in the medium-term perspective. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell. And see you guys until next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed.